We want to send a message to the president. It's the time to act now. I am an immigrant, and I believe that it's very important to resolve this civil rights issue. I believe that the president is going to do it.
There is a spitstorm of perhaps unequal proportion coming to the nation's capital as the president is poised to make immigration reform happen, basically telling the newly minted Republican-controlled Congress to do your worst and bring it on. But are the Republicans truly together this time? And do they have the guts and elsewhere that it would take to slap back at a chief executive? Let's welcome back to MidPoint, author, actor, syndicated radio talker with one of the most listened to programs in America, and one not about to back down on giving this nation the push it sometimes needs to get it done and see some reality. Right there in the backside, Jerry Doyle joins us. How you doing, Jerry?
Good to be back with you.
You too. Let's get right to it. Immigration executive action comes up from the president. Now, this comes from Politico. Incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will have few options for stopping the onslaught of executive actions, though Republicans may be able to slow pieces of it. Jerry, we constantly are talking about this back and around we go with this. There's nothing really that they can do at this point. This executive order is going to come, and then what do they do?
They quietly say bravo because it's exactly what the Republicans want. They want the same thing the president wants. The Republicans want amnesty, not the Republican voters, not the conservative base, but the Republican leadership wants amnesty because then they're going to deliver cheap labor to their big business buddies. Obama wants it because he's going to deliver voters to the Democrats. Unions want it because they're going to deliver union members to the unions. And religious organizations want it because they're going to put seats in the seats. So when you take a look at the Republicans going, I can't believe the president's doing what he's doing. In a certain way, the Republicans should be giving props to the president for doing what the Republicans don't have the stones to do. They say they're against it. Well, there are things that they could do, but they refuse to do it because they're going, oh, this is horrible, this is horrible, come on in, come on in, come on in, this is horrible, come on in, come on in. Because if they wanted to do something, they would have done something a long time ago.
So then the Republicans, in many ways, in your opinion, and I've heard this from other people, but you're the first to really come out and say it, they're saying, let's use this to our advantage. We know we're going to lose here, so if we don't use it to our advantage, then it's going to come back and slap at us come 2016 anyway, so let's find a way to make sure that we all come out on top, we all get elected, and we all have a Republican in office in 2016. How'd I do?
You're on to the game. This is the key because whether it's Obamacare or whether it's immigration or whether it's spending, whatever the case may be, the Republicans are going to say, we have to repeal Obamacare, which is what they said in the last election, 2010. You give us the House and we'll repeal Obamacare. What they didn't say is without the Senate, it's not going anywhere. Then they said, give us the Senate, and then with the House and the Senate, we'll vote to repeal Obamacare. But what they're not saying is without the 60 votes to override the presidential veto, that's not going anywhere. So the next part of the puzzle for the Republicans, which is just the party, which is just about the party and it's just about power, is look, we're powerless to do anything about Obamacare right now. But if you give us the White House in 2016, wait until you see what we're able to do then. So basically, this is just a game of political leapfrog to get to what it is that they really want. And then when they get there, they say, you know, it's just those darn Democrats that are standing in our way. And then they just want more power for the sake of power, and nothing gets done. And I think the voters, like you, are pretty much onto their game these days.
All right, so then let's put it one way or the other here. Who's the bigger band of liars or the band of bad actors then, Republicans or Democrats? Who's worse?
Anybody inside the Beltway is in the Liars Hall of Fame. Anybody outside the 495 Beltway around Washington, D.C., which is the kryptonite of logic, the rest of us are sane. They're insane because we know what needs to be done. They don't want to do it, but they're doing what they want to get done for their crony capitalists, their big business buddies, and their political patronage. So it's working well in this country inside the Beltway for them. It's not working well for us.
So then, did Nancy Pelosi get it right when she said in a Politico interview, and I quote, I do not believe what happened in the midterm is a wave. No wave of approval for Republicans. I wish them congratulations. They won the election, but there was no wave of approval for anybody. There was an ebb tide for us. She might have got it right.
No, I mean, they don't want to admit political defeat. It's obvious. I mean, she is queen of the all senility team. I mean, she's about as clueless as you could possibly get. But when I don't even listen to what these quote leaders say because they are captain and clueless. I mean, they're really clueless because you have to break the code. Here's the thing, is that we're trying to make logic out of illogic. We're trying to understand what it is they're doing and why they're doing it from our perspective. But it's not about us. The laws aren't designed for us. The rules aren't made to protect us. The bailouts and the stimulus wasn't to help us. It was all to pay off the people that know the secret handshake and know where the backroom deals are being done.
But does she maybe have a point when she says this was no wave of approval for the Republicans? Because people are saying a lot of Democrats didn't show up to vote, a lot of black voters didn't show up to vote. So basically, this was just a midterm election, and don't think this basically knocks you in for 2016 because it doesn't give you a favorites role at this point.
Well, I'll give you another one. I didn't vote. And let me tell you why. And I was a Republican nominee candidate in California back in 2000, and I've been a lifelong Republican. I left the party about 7, 8 years ago. But 78% of the people said, we want you to go back to Washington, D.C., and we want you to vote on this war against ISIS. 78% of the people said, we want to know where you stand on the war. They said no. People said, come back and vote on immigration, amnesty. They said no. People said, come back and vote on the budget. They said, continuing resolution, no. So they don't listen to us, and what we wanted is for them to vote on, but they expect us to vote for them. When they turn their backs on us, I'm out.
All right, Jerry, I got about a minute left. I got to get your opinion on this one. At the mall last night in Washington, D.C., to honor the American veterans, they had a concert. Springsteen was there, my favorite, but Eminem was there trying to resurrect his career with one of the most profane, foul-laden songs, effing this and effing that constantly. Did this really pay tribute to veterans?
Who'd they think they were getting, Doris Day? I mean, you know, it's not que sera, whatever will be, will be. You knew who you were booking. I'm more offended by $100 trillion unfunded mandates. I'm more offended by Social Security and Medicare going bankrupt. I'm more offended by generational bankruptcy. I'm more offended by a lawless president and an unconstitutional war. That's what I'm more offended about. I can turn off Eminem, who I happen to like, by the way, but I can't turn off Congress because they've wormed their way into every nook and cranny of my English muffin life.
You are the last guy I would expect to say that you liked Eminem. I'm shocked.
I like him. When he did Marshall Mathers, when he introed that on CNBC like 8 years ago, it was fantastic. I mean, he is what he is. At least he is what he is. Congress professes to be one thing. The president professes to be one thing, and then you come to find out you were voting for Doris Day, but you got Eminem.
Yeah, well, that's no Doris Day. I'll tell you what. You keep Eminem, I'll keep Springsteen. We're happy. There you go.
Okay, good.
Jerry, it's
Sounds
always
good.
a pleasure to have you on the air, my friend. Good luck. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Look forward to it. Thank
All
you.
right, take care. Short break. We're back with the wishes and dreams of these people we call millennials who now have to step up and show they're not just a band of freeloaders. It's all coming up right here on MidPoint.